Nah, I'm retweeting yours.
You alive, can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a scotch bonnet. Don't try study me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
I don't want the one Okay.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
I was ready for it.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted. Can't copy, printed. Can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoken into existence, so consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted.
Wicked. All right, guys, welcome to VLS week number 3. We made it here. Another glorious day of some great Valorant action. I'm your lovely, wonderful host, Beautiful Crow, and joined by me is the cutest noob in all of the Valorant sphere. It is Cute Noob.
Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. We hope you are ready for the weekend. But before you get ready for the weekend, we hope you're ready for the saucy gameplay that is coming up.
Yes, coming up indeed. And also joining us on the desk, once again, it is the baddest of Beckys. Say hey.
Hi, what's up? What's
Ooh.
happening? I also am ready for the weekend and for some Valorant action before we get to that point.
Yes, we are so close to that wonderful weekend of fun times, but right now we got to hone it in, bring it in for this wonderful games we have today. In Group A, it will be PLX versus VEXE, and it's a battle between current third, I say current as they've only played one other game, versus a tied 8th, or everybody tied in that 4th through 8th is like middle of the pack. Everybody has those 1-to-1s right now. So there's a nice little group down there. If I could get the standings graphic pulled up on screen real quick, and so we can just look to this. Yeah, it's just
Yes.
you see that tie for 4th right there for like 1-1-1-1-1-1. Yeah, that's generally how it goes in those first few weeks before we actually have a concrete map split out between all the teams. But as you do see, HCE sitting pretty at 2-0, also with CG up there with them, and PLX are looking to stay near the top with the victory today, and or will VEXE play spoiler and crush their dreams today?
Ooh.
That is what we're gonna find out.
I'm excited to get into it. Just a little. So looking at the match histories that we did have, we do know VEXE is coming off of a loss. They did drop to ODG in a 2-1 game, so it did go all 3 maps, and it was pretty hard fought by the looks of things. We talked about it last week, and we didn't get to see it on stream, but somebody did bust out the fade. So we're looking to see our girl pop it in this week in some of these games. We do know both teams play it. The scrim, whispers and whatnot have been there, so potentially grabbing on her to pop in. Kitty Cat put up a pretty nice performance, even though they did lose. So looking to see VEXE bring that one out. Any thoughts on the fade that we keep alluding to and bringing up?
Please.
Becky.
Please.
Becky, have it.
Girl.
Please. I love Fade. I really want to see Fade finally get played. I feel like I've been casting things for like 2 weeks now. She's been allowed for like a week and a half, and been long enough. She's very strong. She does all the things that you want her to do. Just put my girl in. Put my girl in.
Becky, I do think you're gonna be. I think Fade's gonna come out of Kitty Cat for sure because that combat score from that first map in Fracture was 324, which means Kitty Cat is beyond comfortable with Fade. So if we do get that Fracture, I do expect to see that Fade coming in. So get hyped.
I'm excited. I really want to see it. That character is just so intense to play. Like, seeing her become more relevant in the Valorant landscape as the weeks have gone on, it's super dope to see. So if there was a team to bring it out, it would be VEXE, but also PLX. They might have something to say about it too, looking to grab their second win here in the league. It's just going to be, they are going up against a pretty tough team. Like, yeah, VEXE lost, but it was not like a complete wash, So looking to see how they can stand up to their opposition. What maps do you think we're going to be seeing? What maps do you think both of these teams might like to play in this series? Starting with Cute Noob.
Well, I do think that they might want to bring out, like I said, that Fracture map. Both teams have played Fracture before. PLX actually 13-10 their last opponent on Fracture, so I do think that they're more comfortable with that Fracture map coming out. As far as for V.EXE, I think we could potentially see Split coming out because they did find a little bit more success on that. They went 13-7, but like we said, they were able to secure that second map. So I personally love Split. I think Split's such a great map to bring out, especially to spice things up. So fingers crossed they hear my Cute Noob Whisper music in the air and bring out that Split.
And what about you, Becky? Any thoughts on any potential preferred maps? I know we talked about the Split and the Fracture, but maybe something else. Maybe a wild card pick.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of with Cute Noob. I would really love to see a Fracture, and especially if both of these teams kind of like have strategies for it. I think that that's kind of like the sleeper pick. If you're feeling comfortable enough on it that you're not going to ban it, then I think it's certain to show up in a best of 3 series. And so I think that having that as a pick, especially if somebody's really comfortable on the Fade, we mentioned that Kitty Cat for V.EXE is very comfortable on that. And I think that there are some really great lineups specifically for Fade on Fracture. So I think that if you're comfortable with that agent on that map, you already have a huge leg up going into it. And so I think that that would certainly be a map and an agent that they're looking to pick up going into this. I think that some other maps that I would kind of like to see, especially if they are going with the Fade, I think that Fade can do some really great things on Bind, and it would be great to see a Bind pick up as well. The Prowlers work really well as the little Haunt do some great things on that map as well. And the other kind of map that I think Fade gets like maybe not enough appreciation on is something like Icebox. So all of these like not so popular maps are ones where Fade I think really slides in very well. Granted though, the thing that she has to then compete with is if you're filling that slot of an initiator on a map like that, you're not picking up something like the Sova, and I think that Sova is still just like a stronger and better comfort pick on something like Icebox, so potentially not going to be something that we'll see. But I would love to see a Bind, and I would definitely expect and like to see a Fracture. I just think that that map is actually a really great design. I know that might be like an unpopular opinion to a lot of people, but I think it is a great stray from a lot of the very typical tactical FPS maps, and I think that they actually did a really great job with it. It's just so different from what everyone is used to that it's taken a really long, exaggerated length of time for people to get used to that map and figure out how exactly to handle it when it is kind of so attacker-sided.
Right, I definitely agree. I am a little bit warming up more to Fracture, like we had talked about. It takes a little bit of getting used to, get more comfortable with those angles and whatnot. So I could see that coming out too. Also on the Sova point, it's just such a comfortable character, literally been in there since the beginning of the game. And now there's this new awesome goth chick on the block that's just like stealing his style, and he's like, hey yo, what's going on here? So I can still see a lot of teams defaulting back to that Sova, even though Fate is a very good alternative option. So we have seen 3 weeks of play now. I would also like to ask, from the teams that we have seen and maybe from other teams you've done some digging on, who do you think is maybe a dark horse in the the race currently.
Ooh, I gotta
Ooh.
go. I gotta go look up. I gotta go look up out the teams. I think I still am feeling pretty strong. There was a team that I mentioned in week 1
Yeah,
that
I
I said
remember
that I
you saying
was
something.
quite into. Of course, like now that I'm put on the spot, I can't quite remember their name. They have a person called Recklessy on their team, and I remember being super impressed with how they played specifically
See if I
KO
can get it.
at a very high
Yeah.
level of play. And I think that whatever team they got Recklessy on, I think is going to be doing some
Well, it was
great stuff.
was what in XS?
Maybe
I know it was a Group B team. I remember it was a Group
it
B team.
was. Yeah,
I'm looking. I'm looking.
we're looking. We're looking.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Noxus,
to
yeah, it
figure
was Noxus. Oh, yeah,
Noxus. Okay.
Noxus.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna see him. Actually, you know what's crazy is I was taking notes and I was like, yeah, Recklessy was that fade and also played the Sentinel role as well. So Initiator and Sentinel, like, if you got that diversity in your back pocket, that is something to look out for sure.
Oh, for sure. The more agents in the pool, the more styles you can pull out, the better. As long as you are aiding your team and getting those W's. What about you, Q Noob? Any team that you might have be pondering, being like, they looking pretty good right now. They might be like top of the table. What are we feeling?
See, like I don't want to be a fangirl, but I'm a fangirl. And just being a fangirl, I'm still hopeful that even though Victorum Esports basically redid their whole roster,
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I mean, Paige is the only one who stayed from that original team, so I'm hoping that this B team came on to being the A team and is able to carry the torch and bring that second championship to Victorum. So that's my say. Chat, you can roast me. It's okay. I allow you.
I love it. I love it. Going for, the OG champ scene that can run it back again, get spring and summer. I mean, hey, they looked pretty darn good in their first matchup that they had. So, I mean, I don't doubt that they're going to be good. They did have a wonderful showing and they are doing pretty well. They're doing all right in the standings, sitting, hugging that middle fourth huddle with the rest of the teams,
We're only
hoping to
on
break
week
out
3.
of that.
We're
So
only on week
yeah,
3.
like we said,
Yeah.
only week 3, teams starting to emerge, some styles starting to emerge. I just want to point out that my prediction for a team that would be really good, them Akuma boys
Oh.
sitting pretty at the 3-0. I was like, hey, when I found out they were in the league, y'all might want to watch out for them. Y'all might want to do some scouting, and here they are, top of the table in Group B, sitting pretty 3-0. It's just such a storied org in the amateur space, and they produce some heavy hitters and some good killers. So, you know what? I'm kind of glad to be seeing them up there, and I'm just like, it's wonderful. I am amazing.
Yeah, they actually beat. I think that they beat Victorum 2-0 too. Let me double
Yeah.
check that.
They
So,
were- yeah.
okay,
Yep,
yeah.
2-0.
Oh, that's
They're
scary.
pretty strong. They're pretty strong team of individuals indeed. So that's the predictions for our power ranking so far at the moment for week 3. We got to get into
Predictions
the
for now.
predictions for this game. Yes.
Yeah, this moment. Let's do it.
Okay, so starting with Becky.
Yay.
I
Who
gotta
are you
go
thinking
for V.exe. I think that's where I want to be. I think that they're the ones who are going to bring out the fade. They're the ones who want to play Fracture. That's enough for me. You got me.
Ooh.
All right, Q New. How are we feeling? Who do we think?
You know, I always say let's go underdogs, but this time around I'm gonna go for PLX. Only because this is gonna be a silly choice, but because on Haven they brought up the Cypher, and I feel like Cypher has not been getting any love recently. It's always been like, the Chamber or the KJ. So I like the fact that they're sticking to that OG Sentinel, and I also love the fact that they bring out that Breach on Fracture. So I'm gonna go. I like those agent compositions, so I'm gonna go with PLX.
Okay. Good. I love that. You have a little who's gonna win going on. Oh man, I am excited to get into this one. Like, I do think both of these teams are gonna give us a wonderful show. Do we think it's gonna be the 2-0, the 2-1? how many maps we think we're each are going to
Wait. You gotta tell us who you're going for first before
Yeah,
we
yeah,
do
yeah.
this.
Who I'm going for
Hold on,
first.
no bailing.
Right. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, no, I am liking what I have been seeing from PLX. I want to see more. Like, I want to see them like get into it heavy and like, really show what they can do. So I will actually cast my vote for them.
Ooh,
Okay. Yeah.
I think we're going to 3 maps also. I mean, I'm just gonna forego any segues here. I think you were asking it a second ago. I'm gonna go right into it. I think we're going to 3 maps. I think that it's gonna be hard fought, at least on 1 or 2 of these, and I think that we're gonna get some real back and forth. At least that's what I'm hoping for, I always love a 3 mapper, I like when we get to see a little bit of back and forth. We get to see some falls, some triumphs, to really craft a story with it all. And that's what I'm hoping to see here.
I am a sucker for a good story myself. I love the narratives these players can come up with oh my goodness, it's just ah
Ooh.
it's so impressive. Like, I'm just ready to get into it. We are waiting for a complete ready check from all the players, though, before I step away and become a full-on spectator, while you ladies do your wonderful task of casting some wonderful games. But yeah, we're going to Ascent first, so that
Ooh, we
should
get some
that should
OG
be the
maps.
yeah,
My
we're
dog
getting
even
the
started to
Ascent.
bark as we were getting ready for our little ready checks. He's like, "What's up?" It just scared me. I was like, "Where's that coming from? What are you doing? You ready?"
Okay.
I
Go.
shouldn't ask if he's ready.
Good. He might be ready for something else. I might
Yeah,
get
he's
a little
like-
too excited. It's like walkies, maybe.
It's
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Treat,
But
treat,
No,
where?
I'm sorry.
Right, but it is time time for me to step behind the curtain for a moment while the ladies do their thing as we get into this agent select. So I'll be sending it off to you guys. Y'all have fun in this game number 1.
Oh,
We're
for
gonna have
sure.
so much fun, especially considering it's Ascent. It's not any of the maps that we asked for, but it is one of those old, faithful, tried and true, and nonetheless gonna be able to give us a lot of good action over here.
Yeah, I mean, OG is always nice every once in a while, as long as we're not constantly getting Ascent. So, hey, I'm okay with the first map being Ascent. The second map, for anyone wondering, is going to be Haven, and the third map will be Bind. So, one of the maps that we asked for here, Becky, is going to be played out, and that will be the Bind. But what we also asked for was for Kitty Cat to show us what they got on that Fade. And from that hover, I think we shall receive here, Becky.
Please just go ahead and lock it in. Yes! Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm so excited to see this Fade come out. I mean, Ascent is definitely a map where I think that this is another one of those difficult places where I'm like, Sova is probably just better. Like, Sova and Ascent are kind of like peanut butter and jelly in a lot of ways. But that being said, you can do a lot of the same things with Fade that you end up doing on Sova, and so if you're very used to playing something like the Sova, it definitely kind of transfers over, especially onto this map. And there's a little bit of kind of extra give that you have on an agent like Fade that you maybe otherwise wouldn't have on something like the Sova. So it really just depends on what your team is going to be ready and prepared to play with. And so I'm excited to see how this team composition, which is quite interesting, the Jet, the Chamber, Breach, and Brimstone to go alongside that Fade. And Astra is something that we haven't seen for a while, but we're going to see.
That's what I was hyped about.
Go ahead and pick that up. So an interesting controller pick here. Has to kind of, I would guess, like, at this point, it's one of those things where Astra was just so played at one point that everyone who got used to playing it is just, like, it's kind of ingrained in their soul at this point, how to play Astra. And so I imagine that is a big reason that you would pick something like that up, is that you're ready and prepared for something like that. And she's definitely very strong. If you're like trying to very aggressively push onto a site on Ascent, there is no controller that is really able to do it as quickly and still be able to like get back into the thick of it the same way that Astra does. Brimstone is pretty close. Omen is definitely the worst at it, but Omen is usually the other controller that we see on this map, though we are not seeing it here. And instead, it's just going to be that Astra. So I'm excited to see how that is going to play and if they're going to go for some of those really aggressive pushes with activating all of those stars at once.
Yeah, I'm so hyped to bring out the Astra. I mean, Astra is like nowhere in sight anymore. But PLX has made me happy. I feel like my day is already started, and just like you stated, it's going to be PLX on that really aggressive push. But yes, the nebulas are down, those smokes are down to take over this site, but they are held back by that brimstone smoke. There's a stun onto site. Super Monkey already ready to go. That 10 health in a dream, still alive, but the shot through heaven comes on through. Jakey is ready to party with that headhunter, and now that's 2 people down for these attackers. They're gonna have to play this post plant very carefully as one more goes down. Burst with that right click makes sure to eliminate Kitty Cat off of the map, and now it is a 2v2. One brimstone smoke goes down to hold off the Astra, but it's the heaven push, and then Oakale able to take down Burst, last person standing for these attackers, and actually the defenders were able to secure this round here.
Yeah, that was a little awkward. They got everything set up, especially on that Killjoy as one of the few players remaining. You could see that even as Afrock was going for that defuse, we did just kind of get to see Killjoy just have to sit there with the utility. And usually if you're on that Killjoy, you want to set up that utility and then get as far away into safety as quickly as possible. And when the attackers just weren't able to do that, it definitely all started to go downhill. So definitely a good job from Afrock and Okol, who were able to really keep the pressure on and make sure that they weren't able to pull out of that site as much as they would have liked to.
Yeah, unfortunately, KJ unable to get off of the site, just like you stated. But now the defenders are going to they're going to be having this weapon advantage, and they've been playing this defensive half more of this B stack. If you can see, you have the Fade, you have the Chamber, as well as your Breach there sitting by, and Jet's even lurking about this mid. Something I've seen happen so quite often, Becky, is that choice of, hey, let's hit the other site after one site has already. I think we need to stop that because it's already predicted a little bit too much, as Beefbog gets that lurk from mid. Kitty Cat with that Spectre takes out Rice Cooker, and now it's just down to Bacon, which, by the way, Bacon's amazing, so I'm glad that Bacon's the last one standing here.
Well, then I will definitely be watching out for Bacon and more into this. Is able, whoa, to pick off Jakey there eventually. Yeah, it does fall to Okerl, but I mean, that was a pretty good round, all things considered. Even just being able to take 2 kills off the defense when they had those bigger guns is going to make that much more of an impact on the economies for both of these teams going forward. But now we are going to see the attackers be able to do these very big buys. Even Super Monkey Havoc actually is able to buy up completely into an operator on this 3rd round. That's a very big impact, and something that I'm certainly going to be kind of eager to see how that goes. It looks like we're going to see kind of an aggressive peek out through mid, which is going to maybe bite Kitty Cat here, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Okol looking already to get very aggressive onto this B site, but guess what? Nobody is home onto that B site. The Astra Nebula comes down through to tree, and Kitty Cat is stuck. Not quite looking through there. It is going to be the first pick on Rice Cooker on Jakey, so Chambers is going to be out of this map. The push on through from Fusion gets tree control, but the bomb has not been in anyone's hand just quite yet. It's going to be Rice Cooker picking that up. They have full control of this mid as well as this tree for the most part. They are going to check things out with that. A drone, and Afro KK needs to relocate himself as the push comes on through. Burst being able to take out B-Dog, and now it is just down left to 2 defenders. The Marshal does some damage and manages to take down 1, but now has to reposition over to Heaven as the bomb gets planted onto this A site, and it's a 2 defenders having to retake here together.
You got really funky fresh there for a moment. It sounded like you were rapping. It was really great. Afrock, 10 HP though, and a dream. Probably gonna have to die to be able to get full econ though. Gonna be pretty good into the next round, regardless of how this ends up going. But it's gonna try and see if we can find some extra bit of damage to push on to the attacking side here, but is blocked off by that Nebula, unfortunately. Also is weak enough that if we try to tussle with that little Killjoy robot too much, that bot's gonna have some things to say.
Yeah, Chicken, whenever you get the turret's name, I don't know how we agreed that the turret's name was Chicken. Somebody somewhere once upon a time called it a chicken, and now I feel like that's their name, and it makes sense why Afro decided just to go off with that bomb. You want the economy, you want the money to be able to buy up this round. But I wanted to ask you, Becky, how do you feel about the operator in the hands of Jet on an attacking round, like on the side of attack?
I think that this is a map with enough corners to it that you're pretty safe to pick it up on the attacking runs. You can do those peaks through garage, you can do those peaks through tiles towards mid, you can do it towards catwalk and mid as well. You can do it on kind of both of those A angles. So I think there are enough spots and long corridors on this map that it is still definitely worth it. I think we got a kind of unfortunate, like, the Jet decided to peek the same place.
That the other Jet did?
that the other Jet did on this round. The round before, Rice Cooker actually had Nebula'd off the place that we were peeking as the attacking side Jet. But on this round, Jet versus Jet, oh my gosh, my dog is barking, and he said, hello everybody, hope you're all having a great day. I am too. Also, op versus op, maybe get punished for picking up an op on attacking side.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. It's already a 1 point over to B-Dog with that operator, and the bomb is still in no man's land as the aggression coming out from Fusion gets punished by Jakey. Jakey says, you ain't coming into my home, get out of here. And now Jakey, Bacon here, trying to get a little bit of action onto Tree, but B-Dog with that operator is already showing why he is a superior Jet onto this map. It's now left to 2 attackers to make things work. Rice Cooker, I think they're looking to save here, Becky, as Rice Cooker grabs the operator and now repositions over back to their spawn.
Yeah, this does look like it's going to be a save, and I think that this is a pretty heads-up play. Looks like a lot of the attackers will still be able to buy up going into the next round, and Burrs would be able to buy for somebody
left.
even if they're not able to. So looking to be pretty safe, and I think that Rice Cooker, just as you said, going to just hold on to this op to give back to Super Monkey Havoc, and then we can have an op-v-op Jet battle round number 2 going into round number 5.
I feel like that's what we're going to be looking out for the most. Who is going to be the better Jet with the operator kills? And so far, B-Dog has been the it Jet.
And I mean, there's something to be said for trying to take these peaks. You're kind of just, it's a battle of who is able to stand up to what they say the best. And it's a little bit difficult to go ahead and be the Jet who's like, all right, I'm going to ego peek the other person. Or like in this situation, now we're going to have the attacking side Jet ego peek the tour de force. And it's just a little unfortunate. But I mean, those are able to outlast the smokes. And as long as you're able to be ready to go for those peaks as soon as those smokes dissipate, then you're still in a pretty okay place. Stimpyton is going to go down from the Brimstone, anticipating the push in from the attackers here.
I like how defensive and how well positioned VEXE has been. They not only smoked off the entrance, but they also mollied off the entrance, which held them, which held the attackers back. Now the attackers are going to push onto site with a flash and a dash from Super Monkey Havoc, going to clear on hell, but KJ Ultimate from the attackers is going to help them securely take the site altogether. Now they're able to reposition fairly off. I'm hoping here, Becky, that the KJ gets to really put down their utility and back off just like we were asking to previously.
Yeah, so far though, it can be a little bit difficult as those ops are battling back and forth, but ultimately now the only one left is in the hands of B-Bog Occult to finish off Bacon as that final kill. That was a little bit awkward of a situation where it felt like they had the Killjoy ready for the last 2 rounds. They finally decided to dedicate it. It seemed like they were waiting for some other utility as well going into that one. And then at that point, like, the Jet from the defensive side had pushed up so far that they knew that they couldn't possibly be going to be, or if they were going to be, like, it was going to be a long haul for them to make it anyway. So they'd already pinpointed exactly where the attackers were trying to hit, and they were just super prepared for it, even though they ended up having to kind of work through that lockdown as well. It just didn't really matter in the end.
Get out of my way!
Yeah, unfortunately now Jakey continuing to punish these attackers, but Fusion says 1 is all you get. Meet my sheriff. That was a crispy clean headshot by Fusion there. Afro gets spotted here by that recon bolt. Bacon says, you ain't running away. I'm coming for you, sir. That was a full send it moment, but Bacon has to worry about the person in tree here. It is Kitty Cat. Top-notch Fade now needing to prove themselves once more. Super Monkey brings out the Blade Storm and manages to capitalize on this mid position, but Oko says, that is all you get. Here is a flash. You need to leave. And there indeed. Kitty Cat with the 2K there as well. Okay.
Went from being a 4v2 into a 2v0. The defense was down by 2, but Oko and Kitty Cat single-handedly, the two of them take down 4 members of the attacking side. Really and honestly, just from probably beautiful communication as to how many people were hanging out in mid and how many were hanging out in catwalk, and then coupling it with the utility from both of these initiators, being able to gather that information, do a lot of kind of cornering into different areas via the aftershock and those prowlers, and just absolutely making beautiful work of the attacking side. And speaking of beautiful work of the attacking side, it looks like B-Bomb is trying to cause some havoc with this Odin. I mean, don't we know that you're supposed to shoot inside the dog? That's where the enemies are. That's what the dog is there for. But a little bit of damage, nonetheless, making it that much more difficult for the attackers here as a 1-for-1 trade goes out.
Yeah, it's going to be B-Dog in back of Bowhouse. Going to get double swung, and now the attackers do have full control. We have seen them be successful at taking a site. What they lack right now at this moment is the post plant. Being able to hold off angles and making sure that these defenders don't successfully push into this side. Kitty Cat through the wall there gets Burrs, and now pushing onto site with the Brimmy at its side. Afro able to collect the soul of Bacon. Rice Cooker still making things happen for these attackers, and it's down left to Brimmy with the stimmy. There's a recon bolt to give away the position. Afro pushes onto stairs. Good for one. Looking for the second. Gets the wallbang. Now has a Molotov to hold off this lane. Swings on through stairs. And yes, indeed, able to successfully hold this defense once more.
Okay, so something that I have to highlight about how Afrock handled that just now, is gonna get the defuse off with a little below 2 seconds left on the clock. Just what you needed. We are gonna take a look at the replay of that here, and I think willingly so, as we see how Afro gets to handle this 1v2. I think, the recon bolt goes out, is nicely able to catch that Astra off guard. Unfortunately, the Astra and the Sova aren't playing together. Uses that Molly to make it seem like Afro's gonna go for that defuse and say that you can't go that way, and then continues to just be aggressive, which you have to do in those situations, and we kind of just see the Sova just kind of fall for that play. And so beautifully done from Afro PK in that situation. It's lovely and able to handle that. Ooh, a nice little start to this. Unfortunately, that ultimate from the Fade is not gonna be able to get as much work done as you maybe would have liked. The 1-for-1 trade, maybe not exactly what you wanted as this aggro defense.
Yeah, so once again, these attackers are onto the side. Fade has got that really late lurk around, but I love the aggression coming out from Fusion. Able to collect the Afro, says, hey, you clutched it up once, I'm not allowing it a second time. And I love this buddy system happening onto CT. It's going to be Kitty Cat and Jakey having to retake this site together. Jakey does have the operator. Maybe, I don't know, just a thought, consider saving, because Bacon has connected with Kitty Cat, and now it's just down to you. Oh no, Jakey gets held onto site because they closed the door, and unfortunately for him, Rice Cooker is already ready to get that operator for his teammate. Did they get the op? I think they got the op. Yes, okay.
It's in the hands of this Super Monkey Havoc now. Yeah, that was an unfortunate ran from the defensive side. I think they either heard or they did a great job of understanding what they did wrong from that previous round, which was not really utilizing the buddy system, as you were mentioning, and then we got to see it a lot coming out from the attackers on this round, and it just ultimately ends up going so much better for them when they're able to utilize that.
They were also very aggressive getting onto site, which I like that they're doing here. The buddy system at its finest, you always have to have someone there ready to trade you off. A flash is going to go through. They're trying to see if anyone's pushing out this A main, but what they really need to worry about is that B push coming out from Jakey over onto that B side. That's going to allow them, the defenders, to know, hey, they're not actually onto the side, really stack up onto this B. Fusion swings onto Kitty Cat and says, goodbye, good night, no Kitty here for you. Afro trying to hold off this A push as the bomb, it's making its way onto A main. Astral ultimate comes on through, holding off that heaven. They are going to be able to get onto the site as generator gets clear. KJ takes control of the site as well. The bomb is just about to get planted, so B-Dog's going to have enough time to tell his buddies, hey, they are here. Let's figure out a way to retake site as the smoke goes on through onto this tree. B-Dog onto heaven, connects with Bacon, out of this world now, looking to retake with that breach. Ultimate Rolling Thunder is always my favorite. Does connect with all of them. It's set Burrs onto A main. Afrojack gets onto site, clears, tries to clear off help, but Rice Cooker says, not this time, buddy.
Oh yeah, Rice Cooker is just in such a great spot. Unfortunately, does run out of bullets, has to swap to that classic 2v2 situation now, but they've done what we've been talking about time and time again. They've pulled away from the site. They have that utility set up, and they're just waiting for those defuses to go off. Ooh, Jakey with a nice peek, but unfortunately knows that one more is remaining, and there's just not enough time. So getting great use out of this Killjoy on the attacking side.
Oh my goodness!
Oh.
Burrs was ready for that.
Oh.
You
gotta know that somebody's listening to you when you do that, Jakey.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, Jakey's going to get away with the operator. That's going to be a really good thing for the defenders. But Burrs said, no op for you. You get too zealous. I capitalized on that.
And you gotta love when you're able to do that. Love that Burrs was anticipating and ready for it. And just like that, they were able to take all the guns out of the defensive side's hands. They do have that tour de force coming out, which is going to be able to stem some of that economic bleeding just a little bit. But for the rest of the considerations, the attacking side is slowly starting to get into a better position, especially as Fusion is getting better and better at hitting these shots.
And so is Super Monkey as well. Monkey Havoc able to take down that Cypher, and B-Dog says, you got the chamber, now I gotta trade you off. So it's going to be the defenders getting that mid control once again. But the bomb, they thought they wanted to go A, and they created a lot of noise over there. So as you can see, the Brimstone and the Breach were already positioned there. They are making their way onto B site, and they're gonna get rewarded because that site is free. All they have to worry about is B-Dog really listening and hearing what is going on there. But if Bacon can capitalize, Bacon hit some shots, but not quite enough to delete this Jet out of this map. It's going to be a flashpoint to silence B-Dog. They have not fully committed to hitting this site. I think they're waiting a little bit for these Nebulas to get into the hands of Rice Cooker to be able to put them down here as he's collecting them onto the safe site. Burrs puts that turret in the back line to make sure nobody flanks them, and the lockdown's gonna come out. I don't know about this investment, Becky. How do you feel? Do you think it's necessary?
I mean, I was not feeling good about it when we saw that B-Bog was so close, but now that B-Bog kind of felt forced to be aggressive, and then that forced aggression did lead into peeking two of them, I feel better about it. It feels like they did a better job of solidifying it, save for Okrol and Afrock being able to do some nasty work here. I think that being able to follow that utility up with that aggressive push from B-Bog, it solidified themselves this part nicely. And just like that, we do see that Afrock is the only one remaining. It tries to decide if something can be made of this situation, and just like that is going to give that round over once more to the attackers, who've managed to string themselves 3 round wins in a row here.
And what they're doing successfully here, Becky, is the fact that they are not fully committing onto a site. Something that we saw them do quite a lot at the beginning of this match is the fact that they wanted to aggress onto one site, and they wanted to aggress on it together. Now that they're not really so focused about aggressing just onto one site, they're able to create that space to really move around and really take control and pick off the aggression of what VEXE is doing. Because just like that, B-Dog gets overzealous, says, hey, I'm really good with the Blade Storm, but then it's the KJ saying, no, you're not. Get back over there and replan your strategy, because I'm just going to eliminate you out of this map. And now they get to decide, okay, do we really want to aggress onto that A site, or do we want to hit something else? Fusion gets control of this mid. They do get flashed by Okul, but hey, still alive. Okul, just kidding. Okul says, no, not alive anymore, Cute Noob. Get it right here. Bacon says, I'll take one more for the count. Now it makes it a 3v3. Make that a 3v2. Super Monkey has been a menace onto that operator, and if they don't get rid of Super Monkey onto that operator, they're going to be in trouble for the rest of this remaining match.
I think there's something to be said for how aggressive the defensive side is being into this known operator. They are in the defensive side. They know that they could just wait and make the operator be aggressive, but for some reason they just don't think that that's gonna work. And so they keep falling into this kind of trap of peeking into the known operator. And I think if the defensive side could kind of stop doing that, they'd be in a much better position. But now, with the bomb down, they are the ones who are all of a sudden forced to make the play. They were safe previously, and now they no longer are. And Jakey's trying to peek, trying to see exactly where the remaining two are. Knows that one probably has to be hanging out in this garage, is going for a lot of those default shots. But he's not going to be able to line any of them up. And just like that, the 1-2 punch from Bacon and Super Monkey Havoc, and we're so close to an
Last
even.
round before the switch.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm with you. I think that we've started to see the attacking side get themselves together a little bit more, play a little bit more kind of back and forth, because I think that the play style where they were going and being really aggressive towards one side at the start is how the defensive side was willing to play against them. And now that they've kind of done this like waffle strategy, the defensive side doesn't like to just sit and wait. The side of VEXE, they want to play aggressive. They want to get all up in their business. And I think that the attacking side have noticed that, and have noticed that they can take advantage of it. And so they've been able to do that for, what, like 4 rounds in a row now. Finally, Jakey is doing the thing that we're used to seeing Chambers doing, getting that kill and getting out as quickly as possible. That little sticky orb is going to keep a lot of the attackers in place, but for just a moment, and a lot for Afro KK to do that nice little peek around, make sure that they can pick one off, and just like that, oh my gosh. Ooh.
Okay.
Nice little 3K there before falling to rice cooker, but all of a sudden it is just rice cooker left.
Oh
It's
my
gonna
goodness.
be a rough call to try and bring it home. Does fall 7-5 half. Not too bad. And now, all right, how do we want to break down what we think is going to happen on this attacking side? Because I'm definitely looking forward to seeing V.EXE's attacking side half with this team composition.
I think that they're going to be extremely aggressive. When you have the fade, when you have the breach, when you have the brim, because of his lack of being able to really get those smokes back again, you either use the smokes to aggressively go onto a site, or you use the smokes to really hold post plant. But that means that you're not actually smoking the entrance, which usually you want to smoke the entrance. You want to get onto site, you want to make sure that your teammates are safe to get onto the site, and then after the fact you play post plant. So I'm expecting V.EXE to be very aggressive onto this push, and just like that, the sim beacon comes down. It's some smoke, one flash comes on through from the breach, the pull comes through from that nebula, but it's going to be no one home, and they are onto the site. The flash comes through onto heaven, but does not connect. It is B-Dog getting really aggressive. I'm a little bit worried about this, but hey, B-Dog isn't. So if he's not worried, then I guess everything is all right in town. Kitty Cat able to connect. B-Dog able to connect as well. And now it's a 3-on-3. You have your Brimstone, who I believe still has some smokes in their back pocket. And you also have Kitty Cat holding that switch there. Generator is going to be full in control, and now it's just down to Burst, who has a hope, has a dream, has a turret, takes it out, says, hey, check this out, but Kitty Cat says, I don't care about your turret. I care about you and you alone.
We're having chicken for dinner tonight.
Ooh, with rice.
With rice and broccoli. And maybe some teriyaki sauce to just like sweeten the deal if you're not a big bland chicken, broccoli, and rice person, which I would understand. And just like that, Kitty Cat is also off of those 4 kills from that first round. Thinks about going for a Vandal, decides to end up going for just the Spectre. I like being a little reserved in this moment, sticking with the rest of the team, and it looks like it's going to be a very quick run through towards this B site this time around.
I always laugh. I laugh, and I'll tell you why after. But the dash from B-Dog is going to get them onto the site. The smokes help. B-Dog get onto site. He's in the back of Fusion. Says, hey, peekaboo, I'm here. And is already onto the site. The retake has to happen from these defenders. They have a flashpoint. They have a flash. But B-Dog says, I don't care what you got. I got you. And indeed, that's a flawless coming out for that second round. I'm worried here, Becky.
I mean, the flawless is just so nice if you're coming off of the round where you have specters, because that means that every single one of your players gets to continue on holding that gun into this bonus round, and that just makes your economy look so much better. Win or lose this next round, being 4 rounds up means that the attacking side is sitting very pretty, and I think that this is a great time for the side of PLX to go ahead and call this time out. Great moment deciding exactly how they're going to get themselves a few rounds strung together in a row and get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, I could totally get. I think we have a replay of that last round.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hit that production so we get to see that entrance. B-Dog here coming on through does get the kill onto Fusion, and Kitty Cat also gets rid of Burrs, which eliminates that movement bot and the grenades, and B-Dog, just because it's an idea, and that dog also coming down from Fade says, you know what, I'm just gonna full on send onto CT, and then Kitty Cat gets that last kill, which you can see the confidence oozing out of V.exe, and it makes sense when you have this aggressive composition and your team is getting those kills. Why not continue on?
I mean, I had a feeling that you don't pick Breach without having an idea of what you're going to do on an attacking side. There's maybe only one map where you pick up the Breach and you're just like, I don't know, whatever. We'll be able to have some fun defensive side things, and that's Haven. But every other time that you're going to utilize something like that Breach, it's because you're itching for that attacking side half where you get to utilize kind of these tight corners with that flashpoint and just getting a ton of good things happening. Bacon, I mean, does not care about B-board. Nice little counter strafe to make sure that that happens. Jakey, unfortunately, Bacon maybe wasn't ready for the follow-up. Unfortunately, no. Jakey's also looking at the ground. I mean, it's a nice skin, but maybe don't be looking at the ground. Even in the smoke, Rice Cooker sitting waiting, happy to pick that kill up. But the bomb is down now. Slight advantage in the attacking side favor.
Oh my god, the flanks on flanks.
Moment. Oh my gosh, you said it. Flanks on flanks on flanks happening here. And with that door going down, they've got to be watching that area now.
Yeah, it's grim. It's grim because they lack the weapon advantage, but Fade says, check out this flash. Super Monkey says, I don't care, let me take you out. And finally, we get a response coming out from PLX here, Becky, and I think they played that really, really well. I love the fact that they're like getting onto that confidence, bringing back that forceful thinking that we need to peek and we need to make sure we get that first kill, because I really feel like that kill from Bacon at the start was what really allowed them to breathe and still maintain control onto that A site.
Yeah, they also just did it was kind of, it made sense that they were going to have an advantageous position going into that round, and they just played very well knowing that their guns were better. The way that we got to see Bacon handle that kind of 1v2 situation made a lot of sense for, I have the better gun, I'm going to have better crosshair placement, I'm going to be ready for you to kind of come running and gunning around this corner.
Ooh,
and
lineups.
as a result, went very well. Yeah, that double shock dart lineup very nicely coming across there, but doesn't connect for a ton of damage. And we are going to see that Nightmare come on and go onto this site. If you were there and you got tagged by it, you would be deafened, but the only person there who could have been deafened by it would have been Fusion on that Sova, but is down for the count. The flank coming out from Jakey. Very beautiful here, able to pick up one as well. Whoa!
Oh,
I don't know
my
if we needed
goodness.
the rolling thunder too. Oh, the line, literally we just saw Okul and we just saw B-Bog just line up into the barrel of Rice Cooker's gun. Definitely not a place where they needed to be pushing. Nonetheless, gonna do it anyway and still get away with it.
Yeah, you know, why not? Just throw it all out there. You know, I always say you get it, you use it, you get it again. Why not? Like you said, Becky, that was definitely some choices. But when you're 10-6, 4 rounds up, and you're able to buy an operator and full util onto this next, and your opponents are down just on Buckies, I guess you can do whatever you want at this point. And that's exactly kind of what we are seeing V.exe doing. They're just able to full send it onto a site. And when you're getting a little bit overwhelmed, I think the defenders need to really think about how can we slow them down in order for our whole team to really come on over. I like this aggression coming out from Rice Cooker, gets one and able to get away. Okay.
B-Bog, heck your life. That's what just happened there.
Oh, that's an unfortunate thing for B-Dog. And now they are going to hold this crossfire here onto this A site. But the bomb's not even there, Becky. The bomb is still making its way down, Cat. Well, going on a stroll, not even worried about who or what may be in the way. Because Oko says, Super Monkey, you're no longer alive. We need this A site. We're gonna smoke it. We're gonna use a really quick stimmy here to get us on through. Little do they know that there's a Bucky in town. And Bacon is ready to sizzle it on the pan. That flashpoint comes out. Knows that there's someone else gonna just bullet through the smoke. But unfortunately, nobody. Rice Cookie still working onto this A main. Takes down Opal. That judge needs to get checked because it's connecting crispy clean.
Oh no, and Kit Kat got left alone with an operator. That's not what you want. Jakey, the only one remaining, does have a Vandal though, but I mean, at that low of a life total, you could get killed by a judge from halfway across the map. Not like that matters. Rice Cooker has upgraded to a Vandal now after savagely taking out 2 people with a judge in this round. Rightfully so, but Jakey does thankfully have the bomb.
10
Has 10
seconds
seconds
left.
though, is gonna have to, grace of God, get onto a site and get a plant without Rice Cooker or the other side noticing, and it's just not gonna be it. Thrifty, very nicely done, and I mean, a lot of that thankfully going to Rice Cooker, I feel like we have to mention with that judge.
Rice Cooker and bacon. I think that's gonna be my next breakfast meal. Yeah, rice and bacon. That sounds absolutely amazing. Maybe add a little bit of Spam. I don't know if you've ever had Spam, rice, and bacon.
I don't eat red meat, so I have never had Spam. My body doesn't digest it. It's a lovely thing. Just all
in
sorts
another
of health
world.
problems. In another world.
In another
It
world.
smells good. Every time I see
Let's
recipes where
let's
people make
play.
it, I'm like, it looks good. I wish I could. I do the same thing with bacon too. I'm like, oh my gosh, the sizzling sound, the smell, it seems fantastic. I just can't have it.
Right here.
It's okay. Well, what these defenders can't have right now is an idea of where the spike is, since it's VEXE who's doing a phenomenal job at playing this default. It's going to be Afro Rock getting pinged by that recon bolt, but just not even worried. Nobody's peeking. Nobody's actually being extremely aggressive, which I like that this defenders are doing it. B-Dog, though, going to be spotting Rice Cooker and Bacon. It's going to be the nullification coming through, not before that stun comes on through for these attackers. They're not going to fully push, which I am surprised. They are investing a lot of utility onto this tree, but I'm wondering if that's just going to be in a rotation as Fade is creeping up their way into this B side, but it is already Burst, still holding on to CT, says there could be a possibility that they're just faking us out. I'm just gonna stand here and wait along until I see a soul. It's gonna be B-Dog making some noise onto mid. Fusion already ready to swing. A flash comes on through. Bacon spamming through the wall, making it that much harder for this push to be into fruition. So now they're just gonna decide, you know what? This tree looked like a right call. Let's swing on through. But Rice Cooker has a sneaky little position. Able to connect once, but Jakey does not allow another second refrag. It's going to be the bam. Popped it onto this A side.
No.
Bacon just swings on through. Says I'm
Nobody's
just gonna try
playing the ball.
anything.
Oh my gosh.
5 seconds left. Somebody's gonna get it.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
they're gonna get it.
B-Dog.
They're gonna get it. They do get it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But now it's
Okay,
down to
but now-
B-Dog.
B-Bog and Burst. B-Bog holding the corner. B-Bog around. Oh my gosh. They all about gave me a heart attack by not planting that
I know.
bomb.
That was so insane, B-Bug. Oh, Rice Cooker disconnected just from that play says, you know what? I'm sad. I'm gonna take a moment. And I think with that, we're gonna take a pause here, Becky.
Looks like it. I mean, a good time to do a little bit of a pause is for this little bit of a DC that we're having. I do believe, yeah, we're watching this replay. We get to see, we watched B-Bug, like, make sure that the person shooting the person planting the bomb got killed, but then was like, I don't need to go replant the bomb. And I guess that there's just, like, a lot happening in that moment, but I mean, a good time to peek around. Thankfully, correct
That's exactly how they
crosshair
feel.
Placement. Yeah, that's we all feel that way after that round, especially Rice Cooker's computer that is having a little bit of a struggle moment right now, it would seem.
Spike
And it
down
looks
A.
like, yep, getting to see this again. B-Bog just doing a great job of going back for that bomb, even gives a little bit of a thumbs up spray, barely plants it with a second to spare. this is just like one of those things where I would have just continued holding the corner, but I guess like you have to anticipate that the Killjoy would probably know that you're holding that corner. So I guess the peek around ends up kind of working for the best of both worlds there and keeps them in it, and one shy of match point in this situation now.
Two. Well, after this round. Yeah, we still have 2 left. But I guess I get your thought. I'm connecting the dots here, Becky. I do see that they are going to be onto this kind of janky buy as we see a judge coming out, maybe even a sheriff coming out from Bacon, and
Put that
Fusion's
judge
gonna
back in
have a
Rice
Spectre.
Cooker's hand. I guess that
I know.
Rice Cooker's DC'd right now, but Super Monkey Havoc is just holding the judge to hand over to Rice Cooker.
And it's
'Cause,
worked out for them, though.
It worked out so well. They won the round that they had the judge in Rice Cooker's hand. It was with the kind of like ratty holding a shotgun in the smoke play, but nonetheless, like if it works, it works. We don't care how it gets to work so long as it does. If you're getting the kills, buy yourself that Odin, buy yourself that shotgun. Who cares? And I'd love to see it brought out here once again and see if the attacking side actually falls prey to it once again.
That would be hopeful. I think this round, obviously, it needs to be in the hands of PLX if they want to continue on to this map. If they were to be successful this round, it would allow them to breathe yet another round, which allows them to get onto potentially even the 9th point. Because let's say perhaps if VEXE manages to lose this round, then they're going to be really low on economy for the following round, which will put them on that econ round where they just buy maybe potentially Spectres, potentially, a sheriff, which will allow them to get onto the 9th round for these defenders. And then that's where things start getting a little shaky, right? I find that when teams start to lose at least 2 rounds for the team that's winning, they start to kind of play a little bit more scared, and the defenders are able to really capitalize on that. But these are all hypotheticals here. I don't know what may happen. As the attackers aggress their way onto a site, you stated it, there is going to be a judge in the hands of Super Monkey Havoc, who's already waiting onto this entrance, but the attackers know better than to go onto that smoke.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looks like Rice
no.
Cooker actually
Oh.
didn't get to buy a gun that round, and it doesn't even matter because the instant death that happens the moment that cloud disappeared. Rice Cooker and Super Monkey Havoc, the two top frags for the defensive side, have fallen. Able to take a kill as well as Jakey.
Oh
all
my
of a sudden
goodness.
tries to go to the knife, but Kitty Cat to spare Burrs the embarrassment. There we go. That's the match point that we were anticipating.
Oh, okay. Kitty Cat almost has that Nightfall coming out. Gonna fight for this orb, I would assume. And I think the bomb is gonna also make its way onto this B site here, Becky. But the defenders, they have a plan. And the plan is we're gonna have our KJ onto this B site. We're gonna have the KO. And they also have that lockdown in their back pocket if that Nightfall comes on through onto this B site. So I could see a successful point coming out for these defenders if they are able to hold on to this B push.
Enemy suppressed.
Oh, especially with that suppression. I like
Yeah,
that.
it does get a little bit of information from that, which is pretty big, but it looks like we're still going to go ahead and see that orb picked up by Okol towards the other site. Not actually picked up, just trying to bait it out. Kitty Cat also just getting the kill, so more ways than one going to be able to get that Nightfall off.
Okol's gonna be that late lurk coming around, hoping that someone straggles along, trying to attack this market position, and is gonna push on through. There is one, but Super Monkey with the operator manages to get rid of Okol. That Nightfall comes on through. It's gonna be the whole gang of attackers just pushing onto this market. Super Monkey gets onto Kitty Cat now, trying to capitalize once again, but it is the mid connection from Jakey. Rice Cooker's popping off down to a 1v1. Biba needs to realize that, hey, I just need to play time here at this moment.
We know that the trail from Fate Ultimate leads to your enemies. Yes, and it doesn't leave even. Oh my gosh. Okay. B-Bog just kind of waiting, is trying to peek around, trying to have a funny moment here. Okay, that could have been made so 2 people did not need to die at the end there. Cause the fade trail was still there leading to Rice Cooker. The fade trail dissipates if people die. So you knew that Rice Cooker was still there, and they just were like, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll die. A few of us can die. We'll leave it all up to B-Bog. It's all good. B-Bog's got us. B-Bog does end with second highest on that leaderboard, but I mean, ultimately, I do think that it is the team composition that V.exe brought to the table that got them to this final scoreline that we see here.
Yeah, honestly, I 100% agree. Wow, Kitty Cat is very good at Valorant. I feel
Agreed.
like and like looking on the roster, they were a substitute that just got
Mhm.
moved up to the main roster, and honestly, it's been showing why. Just the setups, like I feel I don't know who the IGL in the squad is, but if I were to guess, I would probably go with Kitty Cat because the way they were setting up around them, the way that B-Bog was just like confidently going, it's like, all right, guys, I'll see you in a second, no worries, and just like Fro having their back was so insane in those earlier rounds. Like,
Oh yeah.
such good team, like solid 5v5 team play from this V.exe squad. And PLX, they did a decent job in responding in a lot of these situations, but eventually they did just get overwhelmed. And unfortunately, disconnects and pauses happen and whatnot, but the composure that V.exe had as a team to tough it out and bring themselves to a victory definitely showed it here in this first map.
It really did show very nicely, and I think that something that you don't really think about a ton until you look at the combat score at the end of the game is how impactful a chamber is. I think a
Yeah.
lot of the time you just like you see a chamber that like goes in, gets one kill, and leaves as like not really impacting a whole lot, or even just like getting a few shots, tagging somebody up a little bit, doing a little bit of damage, and then leaving is doing a lot. But then you see the combat score at the end, and you're like, oh yeah, those interactions do kind of like really start to add up, especially if you're doing them one round after another round after another round. So, I mean, at the end, Jakey does end up at the top of that leaderboard, also has the most amount of kills. So, I mean, very nicely done from the side of V.exe. We kind of got to see Jakey and B-Bog kind of do the crazy, just like run forward, TP, or dash out, and then be kind of followed up by the utility from the rest of that team. And I think that it just once again, the great team comp and utility usage that we're getting to see from those load of initiators plus that controller in the Brimstone just ended up working out very, very nicely for the side of V.exe.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Cute Noob, your thoughts on the first map? Because that was a lot. There are some points where it's kind of got a little spicy.
Yeah, I want to point out Rice Cooker with the top frag as an Astra. And that tells me who's not doing their job on PLX. I don't mean to call you out, but I need to call you out because the fact that your Astra is 17, 15, 3 with 3 first bloods and a combat score of 242, where the lowest one is, or the one below that is a 190 combat score, and it's your jet. We got to talk. Are we warming up here, PLX? What is going on here? Right? Yes, there was some close. Just looking at the timeline, the first going out, it just it seemed like they were kind of trying to figure it out. They were starting to figure it out, but it was on the defense for PLX where everything kind of just crumbled up. I don't know if it was a lack of communication. I would have also liked to see them kind of rearrange their defense. They were hitting that A site pretty hard and consistently. Why don't you bring out your KJ onto that A site, move out your Astra? I didn't see a lot of rotations happening from PLX, and I think that could help them in this upcoming map, which will be Haven, if I'm correct. So that would be if you want to take it onto that third map. If you want to take us to Bind, I need you guys to be rearranging your defense if it's not working out. That's the name of the
Especially on a
game.
map like Haven. If there's a
Yeah,
map where rotations matter, it's Fracture and it's Haven.
yeah. I just definitely felt like they were getting out rotated and out played by V.exe. The team composition kind of lent to that as well. When all you have is Super Monkey on this jet dashing around, and like you have everyone else is relying on setups. Like you have the
Mm-hmm.
KO, I mean, pretty decent on entry, and then you have the Astra plus the Sova. So I'm like, you're really playing heavily to a wait and see type situation. And if this squad, this V.exe squad, is just like, we're gonna out information you and just outroll you, like Oko on this on the breach was doing some stupid good engages, and I was very impressed by his gameplay. Like sitting, top three on his team. I just really would like to see a different composition to answer back in this game too. Because I saw some little glimmers of good ideas coming out from PLX, but just a good bit of a change up is needed here. Reset the mental, get everything back, do some deep breathing, maybe take some like quick yoga stretches while we're in between games, and get back on the map so they can do very well.
Agreed. I love
Indeed.
I love the interactions we're having in the chat. I think they're ready. I think the
I
teams are
believe
ready.
I believe the teams are ready. So keeping that same predictions going through. I know I'm in the doghouse right now with my prediction, but hey, it's cool. We
Me
got some
too.
time. We got some time. So the teams are ready. I see 8 time in the chat. Bring the heat, ready to run it down. So I will take another step away. Ladies, do what you do. Have fun in game number 2.
Oh, we will. Haven is not my favorite map, but it is a great map nonetheless for all of our players, except for one whose client just crashed, so we aren't actually going in. Very, very good. It is going to be a rice cooker. I imagine just had some issues based on, weird things happen when you DC in one game, try to come back for another one. So we're just going to have a nice little buffer moment. What agents do you expect to see on Haven going into this map, especially based on what we saw coming out from our players on the last map?
I do expect to have that chamber. I think chamber on Haven is just we talk about Soba being the peanut butter and jelly to Ascent. I think Chamber is the peanut butter and jelly to Haven. He's just so useful, holding down mid, holding down C long, holding down A long, repositioning, getting that. And we saw I'm blanking here. Jakey, we saw Jakey
Yeah.
be absolutely phenomenal with, like you stated, that one shot and then teleporting away and getting away and staying alive.
Yeah.
That's what's important, is getting that kill and staying alive. That gives a man advantage, and that allows for your team to continue to be aggressive. Jakey, phenomenal with the operator and the toward the force as well. So if you are PLX, you also have to take note. Jakey needs to get eliminated ASAP, or you need to really hold them off of that economy to make sure that they're not buying those operators. But can they do that? That's the question. Kitty Cat, I want to see that fade. Give me that fade. Give me the fade again. I think the fade is really useful onto Haven, and I also could see possibly a. I don't know about Sentinel. See, I'm kind of like, okay, we do know that the chamber, but what else? Like, you do need
Yes.
another sentinel. Do you want the Sage? Do you want the KJ? Are you going to bring out an
They all
OG
kind
Cypher?
they're all kind of like a 4 out of 10 on this map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
for
Chamber,
sure.
I think is inching up as like a 7 out of 10, and that's just because like the gun utility is just a good mechanic in this game. And then I think like yeah, once you get into Sage, Cypher, KJ, like they all like you can have cool setups, you can do cool things, but like they're honestly like 4 out of 10. If you're somebody who's
Yeah.
really comfortable on those agents, you can kind of edge out in that regard. But otherwise, you're just kind of like playing a very mediocre character, which is why I would kind of probably just stick to the chamber and then play off on having like multiple initiators, or you could even probably play like a Viper along with one other controller. It really depends on what your team composition is the most comfortable with.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna stop you right there, though. You can theory craft a little bit more once we get into this agent select, because we are finally ready. Our player has returned from the Shadow Realm. I have to go
Yay.
take a quick little stroll, so I will leave y'all to that. So
Okay, Becky, I'm sorry, bye, Crow. We'll miss you lots. But Becky, I need to question you. What?
Whoa!
Yeah, that was quick. And I think like they kind of answered my question already, but I was gonna say, what controller are they gonna bring out? We see an Omen, but we see a Viper. I don't think.
I don't think just Viper is good enough. I think if you're gonna run Viper, you've got to be running Viper alongside something else on this map. But I'd be willing to be proved wrong. And Rice Cooker definitely impressed me on the Astra last game after I've been like pretty much writing off Astra as dead to the world. So if there's anybody that I could see picking up a controller that I wouldn't necessarily associate with this map in these two team comps based on the last game that we just watched, I would say that it would be Rice Cooker.
Okay, well, they haven't locked in yet, but Bacon has locked in the Sky, and Fusion has locked in the Breach. So we're gonna be blind, or at least they will, because thank goodness we don't get blind. So blinds are gonna be flying out into the unknown. And who's gonna be in the line is going to be this defenders of V.exe. But I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they're gonna bring out the Cypher and they're not gonna have a chamber in their arsenal. Rice Cooker just baited us also.
Yeah, I kind of expected that. Again, it seemed a little far-fetched to me to run something like just the Viper if you're not going to run Viper alongside a little more consistent of a smoking agent, especially on a map like Haven, where a lot of these long angles need to be constantly smoked to watch out for those operators, like you mentioned, because those were such a huge part of the last game that we watched. So I think it makes sense that we're seeing Rice Cooker do this swap. I'm excited to see the Cypher. Do I think that it's good? No. As I mentioned before, I think it's probably a 4 out of 5. But I love when people pick up some things that are comfort picks. I love to be proved wrong, and I do love me some Cypher. So excited to see how that's going to work. I think that especially on a map like Haven, I used to say it a lot when we didn't have Chamber as a part of the game. People would always pick up Killjoy on this map, and I'd be like, I don't like Killjoy as much as Cypher, because the moment you walk from A to C site, all of that utility that you set up on one site is completely gone. You don't get to use it. That isn't quite the same as Cypher. Your utility stays in functionality no matter how far you get away from it, and that camera especially just allows for you to get so much information that in a few ways this Cypher is kind of like, on a map this big, another initiator as far as information gathering is concerned.
I couldn't agree with you more. What I'm kind of surprised also, though, is the fact that Oko is actually on the fade and Kitty Cat decided to bring out the Reyna. But as we already seeing, it's going to be a lot of action going on to A site. Oko able to get rewarded for this aggression onto A short, but the attackers are still aggressing onto this A site. The bomb gets taken down. Jakey still making some space, and Oko and Jakey just end things out. Spicy, easy peasy.
Yeah, I guess so. Based on Kitty Cat playing Fade last round, I was surprised when we saw the instant lock-in of the Reyna. I do think that Reyna's good on this map. I think that if you're going to pick another duelist alongside something like the Neon, having a kind of all-over blinding agent like the Reyna is a very good combination with that. So as long as these two continue to play together, I think that they'll be able to go quite swimmingly. It is weird to see a Neon without the Breach. Usually those two are the two agents that go together because of this famous C long angle, but I'm interested to see how it ends up working for them on the attacking side regardless. Until then, we do see Oko pick up 2 nice kills, was doing a great job last round, going to continue to do a great job into this game, as well as Jakey pick up 2 as well, and that Marshall, you know it, you love it if you're one of those Chambers or Jet players, picking up those long-range guns. Blind for blind here, as ultimately Bacon can be caught a little bit there.
No.
Oh, unfortunately.
Right,
oh my god. Wait, nobody has bullets in their guns. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
That is my worst nightmare. Going into a match and then realizing that no one in my team caught that I had no bullets in my chamber. That's just like etiquette, you know, like you tell someone like, please make sure, or like you say bless you to someone, right? Like that's etiquette. Well, can someone make the etiquette, make sure that your teammate has bullets in their chamber before they get into a fight? Because like, that's just rude. They're like full out swinging and then there's like no bullets. Like, hello?
The Spectre, I feel like, is like the most popular gun for running out of bullets too. You just like all of a sudden are like, oh, I just like sprayed and prayed for so long and all of a sudden I've got no bullets in my gun. This time, Kitty Cat not gonna be caught with that, reloads with only 2 bullets down.
Okay, just 2 bullets. We're happy with that. This is supposed to be the round for these attackers, and they're deciding to play it a little bit slower, which I really like. And just as I say that, Rice Cooker's like, let me see what's here. And yes, indeed, I'm going to get rewarded with a headshot. Now, let me just reposition. Fusion says I could also get a headshot. Let me check out what's over here on C. B-Dog does get spotted from that C link. Gonna stun onto mid. Gonna push on through. Rice Cooker, those shots are connecting. And now that C site looks pretty nice, but actually look at this mid. This mid is where most of these attackers are heading towards. They know that Fade, aka Oko, is somewhere around town. We're gonna get a little healing action, and the bomb is making its way onto a site. Fade with the hunt is going to potentially, actually that was not the hunt, that was the pool. Not connecting. bomb
unfortunately, that
getting
Prowler
planted.
does
Planted the
get
spike.
shot down first. Now gonna be able to get a little bit of information with that camera. See if anybody's hanging out up there. He's gonna be able to know that that Omen is up there based on that. Does get a little bit of a tag, and now Rice Cooker gets to try and get some tags as well through that wall.
Last player standing.
Burrs getting pushed by Ogle. Good for one. Now looking for the second. It's going to be the Hunt being full thrown onto the C is going to give away the position of one. Has to ping onto the bomb. At least get it halfway through. Otherwise this time is going to take the guiding light coming through. But Ogle pushes on and now it's down to Rice Cooker. Has clutched it before for the spray through the smoke.
Oh my gosh, but I don't think there's enough time for
No,
this
there is,
defuse.
there is.
Is there? Oh my
There is,
gosh.
yes.
Oh my gosh. Wow. 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 Replay, please. My brain, I was not, okay, okay.
I'll find you.
All right, so yeah, beautiful. We get to understand that one is there because the haunt, and I love that, like, when the crosshair placement for this kill is just like
One
right
enemy
place,
remaining.
right time, and knows that with that
Got to
bird
be
there
kidding
that
me.
we gotta just keep shooting. The little jump kind of it does Rice Cooker so dirty there, and then just the prediction from Oko, beautifully done. 7-0 in this game as 3-0 for V.EXE, and the Nightfall is ready to go as well.
Oh man, it's going to be the Hunt being thrown out there quite early to see if there's anyone A-long, but actually there's so much action happening onto the C side. It's going to be Kitty Cat waiting patiently, spraying through the smoke, gets flashed on through, double flash. We're blinded, but not B-Dog. B-Dog says, I got eyes everywhere, pushes on through, slides on through, and Kitty Cat able to connect, and now it's just down to one. Rice Cooker goes down to Jakey, and the aggression onto that C site doesn't quite work out for these attackers.
I mean, they were on a save round, so I think that it's safe to say we know exactly why that went the way that it did this time. The attackers have the From the Shadows, they have that Neural Theft as well. Unfortunately, those are not very aggressive ultimates to be having on the top two fraggers for PLX, so while we have this little bit of a pause, we are going to watch a replay of that last round in case you're thinking what I'm thinking, which is that round went way too fast for my little brain.
Oh, I love the fact that there's a triple blinds, but it's okay because every other member of the defensive team got blinded. So like right here, we saw that it was Kitty Cat who got blinded, but B-Dog was already ready to trade off. Although I do think that was like an overly aggressive B-Dog. B-Bog, I know you're aggressive, I know you're Neon, but like, do you really gotta full send it like that? Like, come on.
But at the same time, I love to see it. Also, something that they changed recently to Neon is they allowed you to dash in any direction, which it was something that I like read in the patch notes, and I haven't played a ton of Neon. I played her a few times to like understand how her abilities worked, and that was about it. I never noticed that you couldn't dash in every direction. That was not something that I took into account, but now they've changed it so you can dash in a different direction other than like directly straight forward. And I read it and I was like, why the heck wasn't that how it was made to begin with? Why were they like, you have to only go forward? But I think that B-Bog still thinks that it works the old way, and Jakey also thinks that this works the exact same way that it worked last game, and is going to end up at the top of the leaderboard at this rate. Though is fighting for it with Kitty Cat and Oko, who have also very many kills right now.
Well, that pull is going to go through, but Okel does get punished with that blind. Is going to continue to go on through. Rice Cooker has been doing a phenomenal job on this Omen, but not quite enough for Fade to go down. Now it's just down to Super Monkey, an operator in the backhand. Now has to knife fight. They're not agreeing. B-Bog, it's the... I can't believe it. I'm so sad. B-Bog, we know that when someone pulls out their knife, you gotta respect it and pull out yours. And it's gotta be a 1v1 knife fight. The fact that you did not honor that makes me really upset.
Come on, B-Bog.
I'm tilted.
That's okay. Eventually, maybe B-Bog will respect the knife fight honor, but for now is going to do their best jet impression, and by an operator going into this round. Not really something that I think is all that great on the Neon, but like we were talking about earlier, there's enough kind of really long angles on a map like Haven that pretty much anyone can really make an operator work, especially if you're not really getting a lot of smokes down, and Rice Cooker only has 2 to their name for most of this, most of the time. So Jakey, just doing what Chambers do best, lines them up one
Ooh.
to one.
Rice
Unfortunately,
cooker?
something you don't
Rice
expect from
cooker?
From the Shadows. That wasn't From the Shadows to get. Nope, actually still has it ready. Just teleported onto site with the Bucky. And
Burst with the flank. Burst good for one. Gonna aggress
Okay.
onto the CT. I'm sorry, this Neon with the operator has to be very careful. These attackers do have this sight. As you said, From the Shadows is still in the back pocket of Rice Cooker, but I don't know, does he need it? He's been a menace onto the site. Burst capitalizes on B-Bug, takes out the operator out of the equation. Now it is all down to Fade. Okul has clutched it before. Can they do it again? Already making 1-1.
Also, Okul still has no deaths, so well, okay, I jinxed it. I jinxed it. I'm sorry, Okul. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. The thrifty round is going to be the first round to be gotten by PLX here, and the first death at the same time on Okul.
We apologize as casters. We take no responsibility. It is the game's fault, even though we're giving Becky a hard time. But Becky, let's talk about all these ultimates in the back pocket of these attackers.
Oh yeah, I mean they were just waiting. They were waiting to have the full set of 5, and now they're like, all right, let's bring the pain. We got the Seekers, we've got the Blade Storm, we've got the Rolling Thunder, and then we have From the Shadows and Neural Theft, which, like I said before, are a little underwhelming as far as ultimates go, but the Paranoia is going to be the first thing to come out, followed by that Rolling Thunder, and that's going to make it pretty difficult, but darned it be if Jakey doesn't get the first blood on every single round, you know?
Oh, yeah, but Kitty Cat also has something to say. 2K on the pocket, but unfortunately does go down to Fusion. It is now Fusion and Rice Cooker who are the last two standing for this attacking half. Make that just. The Rice Cooker has done a phenomenal job, but unfortunately it is the double gang from B-Bog and Kitty Cat, or Okul, excuse me, to get that kill.
Whew, I mean, what a round, what a series. I feel like all of these rounds are going by so fast. I feel like we were watching kind of like a lot of waffling back and forth from PLX when they were on the attacking side of the last map, and then we were seeing a lot more dedication and swiftness coming out from V.EXE when they moved to attacking. And now we are not seeing any waffling from PLX on this map. They're going to a site or they're getting collapsed on. Either way, it is happening so fast. Almost as fast as we have to call this tech pause because somebody, once again, has disconnected. As we were joking in the lobby before coming into this, one of them is playing on a fridge with the monitor on it, and their fridge is broken. So we gotta take a little bit of a pause while they reconnect on their fridge.
In case you guys are wondering, it is not Rice Cooker, it's actually Burrs. It looks like they're both taking turns on the fridge, making sure that it works out. And so far, it's not working out, so I think it's time for a new fridge, folks.
New fridge, or both get your own fridges.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I hear they've got some new nice LCD screens on the LG ones.
Ooh.
You can't
tell me more. I mean, not sponsored, but tell me more.
Not sponsored, LG, but you could. You could get on this. We'll shout you out. And your nice fridges that I'm sure would be great for playing Valorant on. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Also, that's my next YouTube video. Is I play Valorant on a fridge. I don't even think the fridges could run Valorant, but I'd find a way.
If there's a will, there's a way.
That's what I'm thinking. This sounds like great content. Also, if you use this idea, I want a commission. Thank you. That is all. Off of this tech pause now, we finally got that fridge working, and we are ticking back down into this game. It looks like economy pretty strong for the defensive side, as they do have a lot of wins under their belt, and a kind of broken buy for the attackers of PLX here. Looks like Super Monkey Havoc is going to rely on that Blade Storm, and Burrs is going to just hang out with that Spectre.
Goodness.
And I think Jakey is like actually 8 for 8 on through the smoke. Through the smoke, Jakey. Sorry, I'm getting close to my mic, so I'll be quiet for all of you, but what the heck?
Oh, gosh. Jakey, I don't know if this is fair, yo. Jakey just is built diff, and then the rest of the squad for VEXE is just like, yeah, we're here also doing our thing, but like, But like Jakey and friends is a thing for sure. Like, hello? I don't know, man.
That's a good spot.
It's weird because Jakey's like not really doing anything fancy.
Yeah.
Jakey's just playing Chamber, has the ability to teleport away, and is using this long range weapon and getting those early kills. I mean, there is some skill, I guess, involved in point and clicking with an operator, but okay, the first kill every single time I feel like I'm meeting up. That second kill that we got just from game sense of knowing where players were through the smoke on that previous round, that I will applaud for. That I will applaud for many times. That is absolutely beautiful and crazy to see. The blinds come out as the pop flashes through the smoke. Unfortunately, Bacon and Fusion both lined up, fall prey to the kitty cat. Is now a Jaguar. Swapped out to that Headhunter, helps to finish off a Rice Cooker. Super Monkey Havoc, once again, the only player remaining, did do a nice little updraft dash onto site. Has to destroy that. Prowler is getting zapped, is getting bit, is getting bopped, is getting bonked, and goes down to Jakey with the Karambit. Rest in peace.
I don't even know. I think we have a replay. I'm so, like, confuzzled by choices being made here. Production, do we have a replay? Yes, we do. Let's go.
Let's see how quickly. Oh, this is so sad.
Gosh.
Nothing makes me sadder than like you get one kill and then you just see somebody else on your team die and you're like, why'd you stand in the same place as me?
Yeah, and then like just getting killed through the smoke, and this is just a feels bad situation coming out for PLX. They need to slow your roll. Slow and steady wins the race, my dudes, and that is what they're looking to do here as they do this split push. It's going to be Sky getting onto B-Bog. B-Bog finally getting punished for being extremely aggressive, and now they are able to take more control of this A site, as we can see. Afrock needs to reposition, holds on back, needs to give up the site, make sure that he doesn't get caught out. But the bomb's actually making its way onto this B/C site as Fusion tries to take control of this C site, but Ogul says, C site's not it, my friend. C site is not it. Try again. Try another site. And the site looks like it's going to be.
This might actually spell disaster for the side of V.exe because I feel like the only round that they lost was a round where Jakey didn't get a first blood, and that is the same thing that has happened this round. So if they're able to convert it the same way that they did previously, this potentially is going to go their way, especially if Afrock just walks into smoke and dies. Super Monkey Havoc. Jakey, though, once again, just I think has had the same operator for most of this game and is racking up the kill count with it.
Continuing to do so, Fade throws out a dog to seek out who is nearby. Jakey tries to get a kill off from CT. It's going to be Oko pushing onto the C. Link manages to connect with Bacon. Bacon is out of the count. Rice Cooker says one is all you get now. 2v1. Jakey has proven to be a top fragger, but can he continue to do so as the time is ticking? It's going to be a 1. Picks up the Vandal. Going to click onto the spike, but the spike has gone too far. I think here, Becky, it's going to be Burst pushing on through. Connects, yes, indeed. And the bomb is also going to go on through. And that's a thrifty for the defenders, but a weapon lost, and I don't think they could afford that, Becky. Actually, yeah, they could. Okay, good. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, since it was a thrifty round, they definitely did go ahead and do a save for next kind of situation. I believe we will probably see Fusion go ahead and buy up as well, just a little bit slow to do it as well. Does have that Rolling Thunder in the back pocket as well, so that's going to be a very big help going into this round. Unfortunately, though, they were able to do a lot of damage in that last round to the defensive side, finally able to kill all of them and get a second round. They did not do a lot of damage to the economy. Everyone on the defensive side, even if they lose this one, will be able to buy up once again, and to make it even worse, Jakey's gonna max out next round and has the Tour de Force to lean back into this round, so just credits on credits on credits, making it rain for the defensive side.
I want to be that rich IRL. But B-Bog says, you know what? I want to just win this map. Oko also adding an exclamation point to that statement. Takes down 1. But unfortunately, Burrs is just around the corner, able to collect Oko out of this map. You've stated it before, if Jakey's alive with an operator, it spells trouble for these attackers. But it seems like they may have found a little bit of a spot here onto this A site. It's going to be if B-Dog is able to capitalize on this kill here, might say something, and indeed gets 1, stuns himself, so now needs to really think twice about whether pushing up or not. But Afrock now pushing through. It's going to be the...
What? Excuse me?
Faroni.
Excuse me?
round in the half.
I want the replay. I'm sorry,
Ugh.
Rice Cooker. I'm sorry that we're gonna replay this moment in front of you, but
Oh no.
I need to see. First of all, I don't know if the relay bolt myself is a massive brain play or a mistake. I'm unsure. But either way, does the fast lane as well to make sure. Hopefully nobody can come see me while I'm concussed. And then just.
Yeah.
There's a moment at the end there where I feel like Rice Cooker just accepted defeat. Was just like, you're right, I can't. I have decision paralysis and I can't hit the really speedy Sonic character. My bad.
I think that was an oopsie daisy that the Rolling Thunder actually hit the sky as well. Oops, okay. Sometimes that happens. Just like whiffing a couple of your shots. The Nightmare coming on through for these defenders. It's going to be the hunt as well. And now it's going to be a retake season as the bomb just got planted. Jakey and Afro Rock. Jakey twice? Okay, Jakey. Okay, Okul also getting onto this mix. And the retake, to say the least, has been fully successful in less than 10 seconds.
So there's something to be said. We said this on the last map as well. We said that the defensive side of V.EXE, they kind of went even. They went 7-5 on the last map. And the places that they lost were places where we saw rotations come out from PLX. And we saw when they kind of let the defensive side get aggressive into them, they were able to win. The exact same thing is happening this game, and they never make that switch. They never make that mental switch to, oh, we should just be ready for the defensive side to come to us and be ready to play that way. And I think if they'd have been able to pinpoint that maybe a little bit sooner, maybe coming off of that first loss is just like kind of a little bit rough on the mental. They've had a lot of DCs as well, so potentially it's just like not PLX's day, but they just really kind of let the defense get aggressive and get the better of them time and time again, which especially with something like a Cypher, I feel like you should be a little bit better about not letting that happen.
Yeah, I think what we
same
should...
story, same book, First Blood to Jakey. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say the same thing. Rice Cooker says, okay, I'm next, and Super Monkey and Burst trying to stay alive here, trying to get onto this A-side. Frenzy it has never hit better now, and once upon a time, it was going to be V.EXE's round, but
Not like this.
Burst Ghost needs to connect. It needs to happen right here, right now. It's going to be Beatbog with the shot through the wall. Does connect. I believe that's like 10 health and a dream coming out. Okay, 15. 15 for Burst here, who wants to add another round to the board. Jiggle peeks it.
Both of the opponents are also really low.
That didn't matter.
little ghost that Omen is. It's a little bit hard to hit with bullets, and just like that, an 11th round going V.EXE's way, and being able to just likely get to match point. I mean, we are seeing the defensive side of PLX forced to buy up going into this one, just hoping that they're going to be able to get the bonus round, but looks like we're seeing shotguns, we're seeing Buckies, Judges, Marshall, Frenzy, and a Sheriff. What a cobbled buy, and pretty much all of them are going to like 0 to 100 credits left in the bank. So it's not gonna look good if they lose this round. They won't be able to buy up to match point.
And it's going to be nice and spicy over onto this C site. As you see, the control from the attackers is already from Garage. Afro Rock trying to push up A shore as B-Bog is already on the site. It's down to Sky, who gets flanked with a Judge. And now we have Rice Cooker, Marshall, and a Dream. Does have full utility, but has to take these 1v1s as B-Bog knows exactly where he is. And Okul says, I'm going to assist just in case.
That was a little bit of a flashback to the Neon just like jumping around speedy in front of Rice Cooker. And if you thought that a Vandal was hard to hit a speedy Neon with, a Marshall's even harder.
I have PTSD.
Just unfortunate. And now the buy-ups from the defensive side are going to be a Marshall again. Looks like Rice Cooker is going to decide to go with, I like the Judge over the Ares call. I saw that Ares for a moment, but I think the Judge, we've seen the strengths coming out from Rice Cooker with the Judge. If there's a way that you can save this game, that is certainly it. We're seeing a Judge come out from the Jet as well. Two Spectres and a Sheriff, so it's certainly not the worst buys, trying to keep
Oh,
themselves
no.
together. Tailwind to get away. The chomp coming out from the Prowler. Kitty Cat, though, takes
Oh,
down the
my
rice cooker. The
goodness.
judges will not pass judgment on this day.
Oh, it's a massacre. Down to Bacon, down to Burrs. They're gonna push on through. The Spectre connects with one. The Sheriff does not, and Kitty Cat and Jakey have had enough of this match. 13-2 to end the map here for V.EXE. Crow, welcome back. What are your thoughts? What are your comments? What are your concerns?
My concerns, well, I think we just need to give everybody on PLX a nice big hug, not have a group breathing session. I don't know, maybe take them out to drinks later if they're of age. I'm old, so I don't know how that works. So bad day for the guys. Bad day for the guys, unfortunately. Great game for if you are anyone on the side of V.EXE, because holy shit.
I just gotta, I mean, this is one of those things where in the first game it felt like kind of rather unassuming. I don't know if we just like weren't watching Jakey in that first game as much as in that second game, but I think like we
Plus.
also we went into that second game like
Yeah.
watching Jakey a lot more after seeing the combat score from the first game, and then it's the score lines from Jakey, Kitty Cat, and Okul are all kind of insane. 20-4, 17-8, and 17-6. Like, those are just, first of all, insane KDAs. I mean, the score line to begin with is nuts. But Jakey, the amount, 6 first bloods. I feel like every single round at the start of that game was starting off with a first blood coming out from Jakey, and that says a lot. Kitty Cat also, I mean, second on the board with 4 first bloods. So just absolutely doing the most for the side of V.EXE. But that felt like a very strong game, and I can definitely understand why, though they have a loss before this, that loss was a like 3-game series, and it was well fought between all of those games. I can see why that is now.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also, like I said, interesting to note, the 3 made on this lineup that we're playing today, Afro, Kitty Cat, and Jakey, are all listed as subs on the roster sheet for V.EXE.
in the main roster.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, these are your subs, and you're playing like this?
I'm scared.
That's a little bit worrying trait for anybody in the rest of this Group A, because this team is definitely one to look out for. Yeah, it's amazing gameplay. I love how both Okul and Kitty Cat were just, I was like, all right, I'm gonna play Fade one time, you can play next game, and both still did really amazing on the character.
I have to say, I was a little bit upset that Kitty Cat decided to hand off that Fade because of how phenomenal they have done in the past with them. So I was kind of like, why? And now I get it. There's certain characters that you play on specific maps where you feel comfortable, and the fact that you are aware that, hey, Okul is better with Fade than I am onto this map, let me pass that character over, makes sense. And you still be able to do your job as a Reyna on this map. It makes sense. I feel like Jakey, I just want to point out, and I have to throw this in there, Jakey's combat score for the first map was 256. Jakey's combat score for this map, 362. That ain't no sub, my dudes. Put that man on the main roster, please.
Yeah, I know that in a bit we're gonna ask for a poll, but I feel like
we don't need the poll.
I don't even think it's necessary. I'm sorry, Twitch chat. We really do value your opinion pretty much all the time, but I think you're gonna agree with us on this one, save for your like shadow favorite if you're in the chat and you're just like a really big fan of Afrock. Even if you're a big fan of Afrock, you gotta be like, Jakey held it down for the team on this one and just got an insane amount of first bloods, and those first bloods really do, especially at the long range on a map like Haven, really does commit and convert into a ton of pressure being lost for the attacking side. And considering that they started out on the defense, 6 of those first bloods are going to Jakey. Like it all just like lines up and falls over like dominoes at that point when you get to see the score lines of these players and see how this game ended up. It's hard for me to even talk about how PLX performed on that map because I felt like it was a mixture of mental and like it felt like they were cobbling together an understanding of how V.exe was playing, and they were kind of able to like take those timeouts and do some nice little adjustments on the first map when we were on Ascent. I feel like we didn't get to see that on Haven. And I get that it's kind of hard if you're constantly dying to Jakey with an operator at the start of every single round. That feels a lot more difficult.
He held on to that for so long.
So long. And I wish that we would have seen that same kind of recalibration that we got to see on Ascent that we praised them for. They did a great job of being like, oh, if we just wait for the defensive side to get aggressive onto us, the ball starts to like kind of move into our court. Everything starts to move into our favor. They didn't make that recalibration on Haven, and I think we're getting to see this 13-2 stat line compared to the 13-7 that we saw on Ascent as a result of that lack of kind of retrospection.
Yeah, very much hard agree on everything you have said there. I do believe our MVP voting has gone live as the stream catches up to us.
If you would like to MVP vote and not just, I mean, I'm ready to just like stamp it, seal it, ship it.
Feel it, yeah. Get that
Me
overnight
too.
delivery going.
I agree.
But in the sake of democracy, we are going to let it run, I suppose.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Let's hear it from the
Twitch
people.
chat now is gonna like just completely vote for someone different just to spite
Because
us.
yeah, I was gonna
Yep.
say, please
I can
don't.
feel it. I can feel it in my bones. It's gonna
I
happen.
mean, so far it's Jakey. Jakey's rolling. I do want to say for PLX, they have done phenomenal so far, and this losses are where you really gather your footing and you learn, hey, this is what's not working. Because when you're constantly succeeding, you think that there's nothing to improve. But when you're starting to see where those mistakes could be learning points, I really hope that they go back in the VOD and see where things didn't go their way and why they didn't go their way. I hope that this isn't one of those turning points where they're like, well, we suck, and that's it. Because it's not just that simple. There's a learning point. I'm sure, like, you know, they're a team, so I'm really excited to see how they come back from this, because this is something that's going to stay in our mind. They were fighting that first map, but then the second map, they just lost that fire. So how are they going to come back next week